Someone mentions Otway, what's your first thoughts?
Someone says Otway, I always think of this real deadpan, tongue-in-cheek throwaway, am I being serious, am I not, delivery. That's the first thing. And a pair of mad, wild, staring eyes that make Mick Fleetwood look sane. And then I think of, I suppose second, you think of the white shirt and the barnet. And then you think of the Old Grey Whistle test performance. I forget which year it was, but it was a seminal performance. There was nothing like it, with Wild Willie charging about with a plank of wood, or what sounded like a plank of wood. I think he had built the guitar himself, as I remember. It actually reminded me of Robert Gordon and Link Wray, who appeared around at the same time, doing very sort of serious tongue-in-cheek Elvis impressions. The combination of Wild Willie and Otway somehow was just a total piss take of everything that was serious in music, and yet it had a real place. It was important that people were doing that, because it goes to show that you didn't have to be 17 years old and to be down the marquee just to be necessarily punk. Punk was an attitude, and it also had a lot of Britpop in it as well. It had this kind of Kinksy values to it, which I really liked. But it's one of those people that, or he's one of those people that makes you wonder sometimes whether he really gives a damn or not about music. I think that's quite a nice attitude to have.
Perfect. Okay, let's just move on to Otway.
Sorry, I'm really snotting there. John Otway, he's a loony. He's a loony, that man. He did a tour of people's living rooms. And I remember writing in, I saw it at a competition in Melody Maker, and I bought about 3 copies and sent in for whatever the competition was, or wrote 3 letters or something, because I desperately wanted to come and play in my living room, and I didn't win, so I was rather gutted about that. But I came across Otway, I think like most people did really, when he and Wild Willie Barrett did Really Free, which was probably the seminal punk performance on record, I thought. To me, I mean, there was classic moments, obviously, bands like 999 and The Clash and whatever, and the Pistols, but then Otway came along, and it was like this I don't know, this amphetamine hippie, madly screaming, and just it seemed so. It just seemed such a collision of ideas and values that he should be so aggressive and so wired and so nonsensical, and yet you could still hear this brilliant songwriting somewhere beneath the surface. And I couldn't believe it when everybody didn't love it as much as I did. And I also couldn't believe it a few years later when he released a record called Geneva, or a year later, a record called Geneva, when he showed the real serious side of his songwriting. And at that point, I mean, I remember stopping in my bedroom, first time I ever heard it on the radio, and my whole life changed. My whole world stopped for like 3 minutes. And I'll never forget that moment, because I just felt so incredibly sad, but so peaceful and so full of, I don't know what the word is, awe, because like I was hearing such a majestic song, and it really made me want to be a songwriter. David Bowie had done a lot for me in those ways, but when I heard Geneva, it just made me think, I have to do this. It made me hurt, and almost brought me to tears, and it still does when I hear it sometimes. Is that all right?
Yes, I think grovelly is great.
Well, it's true. It stopped my world.